considering using or drafting an executive order to extend FISA or to continue using Section 702?
Well, Congress wants me to do it, and let's see what happens there right now.
Republican leadership wants you to do it.
I put out a statement, sure. That's very important. It's very important for our military.
That's President Trump revealing that his next steps after the House failed to pass an extension of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA. 19 Republicans joined nearly all the Democrats to reject the measure, despite the president's urging. Much of the dispute over President Trump's one-time choice of William Pulte for acting director of national intelligence. But the president has already formally nominated former Securities and Exchange Commission chairman and current U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, for the DNI role. Joining me now is Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. Senator, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And I know the House is not expected to vote again until June 23rd, ensuring that Section 702 will, in fact, expire for the first time since it was enacted in 2008. Your reaction?
Well, Maria, certainly our intelligence agency is going to go dark tonight at midnight. But our foes are not going to go dark. And here we are on the eve of the big World Cup soccer matches. We have the 250th celebrations across the country, large crowds in Washington, D.C. So we're concerned about that. But at the same time, I want all your listeners to know I do care about the Constitution and your rights to privacy. And this is why I wake up every morning and pray that I would do justice. And this is a hard one to figure out. But what we needed was a couple more weeks to figure out how to shore up the protecting your civil rights, your civil liberties. But at the same time, we're putting Americans at risk. Democrats are putting politics ahead of the safety of Americans.
Well, I mean, you're right. And I asked John Thune about it as well, how it's possible that the Democrats constantly come up with a new idea that they believe will stop the president's agenda. Watch this.
Well, that's an irresponsible position on behalf of the Democrats. Another irresponsible position, and it goes along with open borders, defund the police, sanctuary cities. Now we're going to defund the intelligence gathering capability that has been responsible for 90% of the drug busts that we've had and has prevented terrorist attacks. It is a tool. It's a national security tool. It needs to be reauthorized. The Democrats have indicated, we moved to proceed to it last week. They block voted against it. We've got to take care of the business of national security. If we don't get that right, the rest is conversation. And the Democrats right now are dug in over this Pulte issue, and it's an irresponsible position to take.
Why are they so dug in, Senator?
Well, I mean, I think they view him as part of, quote, weaponization at the housing agencies, and are at least fearful, or they're saying that this is they think he'll do this in the intelligence world. These things are totally unrelated. Reauthorizing, if you're worried about the management of the DNI, what you want is guardrails around whoever is in there. This bill does that.
I feel like they are always the loudest in the room. I mean, this whole idea of the Democrats bringing up weaponization, to me as an observer from the outside, is so rich, because I watched what took place in 2016, yep. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and that is trying to take down a sitting president. How come I don't hear Republicans complaining about that kind of weaponization?
When we do, it doesn't get picked up, obviously, as much. It's partly what the media decides to cover. The Democrats are, obviously, they're vocal. The minority party has the luxury of being able to throw grenades and throw bombs. And, obviously, we have the responsibility of trying to govern and work with the president to get things done.
But, Senator, here it was actually Republicans working with Democrats to push back on the president's pick.
Yeah. If anyone has an axe to grind with FISA, it would be President Trump, going back to the Russia hoax as well. But he sees how dangerous the world is right now. So he's willing to swallow, his grudge and say, look, we need to fix FISA. And that's where I would be as well. Again, you're there in the heart of 9/11. And, we want to prevent that next on 9/11 from happening. 60% of the president's report this morning is going to be from FISA learnings from those FISA courts as well. So this puts us in a very precarious situation for the summer.
Senator, what do you want to say about this group of House Republicans reportedly meeting with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon to talk about military funding in a potential reconciliation 3.0? Now, I know you have very limited time to get another reconciliation package across the finish line, but this meeting follows President Trump's Truth Social post calling on Republicans to get something done. It would combine $350 billion in defense spending with the Save America Act, voter ID and citizenship verification requirements. Do you believe you can get that done?
I sure am going to try, Maria. I'm not going to overpromise. I want to focus, though, on decreasing the cost of living for folks, decrease the cost of health care, decrease the cost of gasoline. That's what I want to focus on for right now. We're giving the military a this is what unites us and brings us together, then I'm certainly willing to try it. But what I hear from folks back home is they're concerned about the cost of living. Healthcare continues to accelerate. That's something that I know how to fix. Our price tags bill would force every healthcare provider in the country to show their prices up front. That'll bring down the cost of insurance $1,000 a month. The Save America Act, the Voting Rights Act, oh my gosh, I would give my left thumb to be able to get that across the finish line and bring back the safety and security of elections. So, look, we need to try. I've been trying to be ready for this day since last summer. We have a package of bills ready to go, so I'm with them.
Well, I mean, this is important because, of course, you have to focus on affordability. The midterms are right around the corner, and that's what is going to be a major issue for voters out there. But we also want to see safe and secure elections. Do you think there's an opportunity to get to make the Save America Act a budgetary item and put it in another reconciliation package, or are you saying it's probably unlikely?
So, Maria, it's a really uphill battle. I think we can nip at the edges. I think we can give folks money to help and to do something like that as well. I think that that's possible. But I think at the end of the day, the blue states will continue their unsolicited mail-in ballots, that type of thing. It'll be really hard to make a major policy change in a budget reconciliation bill that requires us to be more about the budget than it does about a policy change. But I'm willing to try. We've got some incredible lawyers on our side, Mike Lee's and Ted Cruz's of the world, Lindsey Graham. So they'll do a great job trying to make that argument to the parliamentarian. But you know she leans a little bit to the left on us.
All right, I know you're focused on affordability, and I want to get your take on this Justice Department sending subpoenas to several banks, including J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, requesting information about whether they debanked any clients or improperly closed customer accounts, purely for political reasons. Senator, what is your take on that? Also, I know you're looking at what the banks have done in terms of fees. A federal judge has given preliminary approval to the settlement in the 21-year fight between merchants and networks, banks over interchange fees as well. That could be a real positive for Visa and MasterCard, certainly.
Well, again, that'll help impact the cost of living. Right now, Americans are paying 7 times more every time they use their credit card than our friends in Europe do. Why? Because 2 credit card companies, a handful of banks control 90% of that industry. And we do have a bill that would impact that. I want to talk about the bigger bank picture here. Look, we have friends, colleagues from my private world that are in the oil industry, folks that have been at the same bank for 50 years. And during the Biden administration, those banks are saying, look, we got to unload you. We can't load you money. You've been a great customer for 50 years. The same thing with our gun store owners across the state of Kansas. They approached me as well. So this is real. They did weaponize the banks against Americans as well. So I'm glad to see us looking into it.
All right, we will be watching all of that, Senator. Good to catch up. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Maria.
Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. We'll be right back. Stay with us.